Yeah, so it's not as bright. Hey y'all, this is later than my normal. I got stuff all over my shirt. This is later than my normal live. Me getting on here. I'm just getting home from my daughter's volleyball game, and y'all, they have been getting later and later for the simple fact that they be having multiple teams. So it's all about balance. Just being home, I'm able to like make sure that I got dinner, whether things prepared, which I'm so glad. If you guys have not watched my last video, I was like really preparing for this upcoming week. Um, with it getting darker earlier now, it's just like, and then when you wake up, it's either cooler in the mornings or it gets cooler in the afternoons. But I'm so here for it. I had on a long sleeve dress today. I went and took myself on a solo date. Like I just have been juggling and balancing a lot, and I feel like I finally have that balance. Like I'm always gonna set and come in where I need to and where I can. And yeah, my oldest was talking about now just doing flag football, which will start right after uh, my middle of her volleyball session. So it's like everything is falling in line. This is going to be like my season of busyness. So I'm just really trying to set myself up to where I'm still prioritizing or I'm still refilling my cup because I can't be the mom that they need me to be if I'm not filling up my cup. So today overall was an amazing day. I was very tired, but I think like the adrenaline from like seeing my daughter's team play, like I'm really. I say this all the time. I feel like no matter the videos or whatever, I get on here and I be like, yo, my daughter is really. I'm really somebody's volleyball mom. And then my youngest, she had testing, and the testing that she did, she got 100% on everything that the teacher asked her to do. She was able to do so. Super proud of her for that. But again, I just wanted to come on live to say hi to y'all. I feel like I would have had a video out. I'm trying to come up with like a schedule that is conducive for me and my family. I just have not found that out yet. Have you watched this one? I have not. I have not even heard of that. Hi. Hi. Yeah, so I'm trying to come up with a hello, everyone that just joined the live. I'm trying to find a schedule that I'm able to like upload and everything. Just for the simple fact that life right now is just busy, and I don't want to lose the momentum of being consistent and stuff like that just because of my life. I am the jumper. Um, hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, make sure you go ahead and double tap the screen. I would also appreciate if you guys can also subscribe to the channel. I do plan on putting out a video tomorrow. I had some much needed alone time as a single mom of three. Sometimes I don't always hey sis. I don't always get the chance to do anything by myself. So I was so glad that I was able to prioritize getting some of that alone time. And I definitely think that that helped out at my daughter's game. I came home, I laid down for a little bit. I really wanted to get a nap, but I'm one of those type of people. Once I finally fall asleep, it's a good chance that I'm not gonna wake back up because I'm that tired. So I also like on my solo date today. I was saying this on my last live. I have been loving the Hoopla app. I have about I'm sorry, y'all. It's a the camera is clean. Like I promise y'all, my camera is clean. The only issue is it's a my camera is facing frontward. I wouldn't be able to see y'all talking if I had to change it. Like my front facing camera is worse than um the other way. But the Hoopla app, if you guys are into reading books, it offers audio books, ebooks, kids books, family books, cookbooks, comics, you name it, movies, anything that you can get from the library, you can get on Hoopla. And I've been reading this book. Started it yesterday. It's called Goals. Um, and the last time I was reading it, I was 88% done, and it was a good book, y'all. It was a good book. Thank you. Yes, yes. What are y'all getting into? Normally I'm in bed, but like I said, the adrenaline just from leaving my daughter's game. Each game, I feel like she's getting better and better. I hope that she stays encouraged because she missed the whole summer. Like her coach had told us initially that they didn't practice over the summertime, and we were super excited because we found out that she made the team, and we also found out that it would not interfere with her visiting her dad in Delaware. So, come to find out, this past summer they did practice. So when she came back home, she literally got back home a couple days before school started. So the coach had already had an idea about who was going to play what positions, and all that. So she was like, I don't know where she's going to play me at, and she was like starting to feel like a little bit discouraged. And I'm like, you just gotta give yourself grace for the simple fact you've never played a sport before, and she was coming in there and doing the doing thing. I like everybody, Mister Prosicio. I hope I said your name right. I like everybody. I love everybody. I'm a Christian. I love everybody. Um, yeah, but I hope y'all are having a good night. Sunshine, love. I saw your picture and I missed a comment. I've been having problems like either posting to my community tab, like 1 minute it's there, 1 minute it's not. I don't understand what's going on. But your pictures on your community tab were very pretty. I said, yes, sis, with the freckles, natural beauty. Yes. So I have been trying to find like other people to like watch on YouTube as well. So if y'all have any favorites, I'm more of like a lifestyle content creator, like type of like that's usually what I like or whatever. And I like the smaller content creators because I like to see how they started. I wish I had long feet. What size shoe you wear? I am not from Toronto. I was born in New Jersey, grew up in Delaware, and now I live in Georgia. I thought we was chatting. I thought we was chatting. And a size 12. 12 what? 12 is big. 12 is big. I'm a size, depending on the shoe or whatever, I'm a 7, 7.5. So a 12 to me is big. Ooh, excuse me. I also got to get back to like my YouTube, but I'm telling you, I have been loving getting back into my reading era. Books are super expensive, and just finding the app to where I can check out as many books for free by linking my library card has been like an amazing thing for me. I'm trying to see if I come back some, like is my camera quality, maybe if I put my tripod over here too, like you guys can, I don't know, is that better? I feel like it is, but I'm gonna have to hold it at this point or whatever. Yeah, so I am pretty much, like I said, just getting home. We've literally been home. This is probably the latest since my daughter has been playing volleyball that we have come home. But earlier I was able to wash clothes, um, put them in the dryer and everything before we left out. I'm trying to think of what I want to make for dinner tomorrow. But it's probably going to be something very simple. But again, I just wanted to come on and chat with you guys for a little bit while I was still up, while I had an interview to do it. What would be better? 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 You tell me. Let me see. Did I miss anybody? As well. I am so excited too for like the fall. Like I just can't wait to like check out different fall events. We went to this one called Sleepy Hollow. I don't know where everybody is on here, but a couple years ago we went to Sleepy Hollow Road. I live in Georgia and it was amazing. Like the food was amazing. The activities that they had was for like young and old. Like anybody can get down with the activities, and I'm comfortable now. Once I get off of here, trust and believe I'm going to be. I have not ever gone to Canada. Canada is somewhere that I would like to go and check out. Are you from Canada? Yeah, I'm looking forward to like the fall activities. I have been trying to get like my house together. I want to redo my loft upstairs, like and just go a whole different direction than when I first moved in. When I first bought my house, I felt like I was trying to do more of like a kid slash family room, and I want to do like they got their own bedroom. Every area in my house is not going to be tailored to like the kids because they're not going to always be here. Like my oldest is 15, so Toronto. Okay. Are you originally like from Canada, or did you like relocate there? Did you move there? You've been there all your life. I appreciate that. Thank you. Toronto. How's the weather right now in Toronto? Like I'm starting to see like the leaves change colors on the trees. Like I think it was like 80 degrees. Wonderful. Have you ever been to the United States? Hi, Letty. It's hot. Yeah, it's still hot here. Like I'm in the South or whatever. Where have you been in the United States? Letty, you just reminded me that I gotta get my nails done. Get a little icon. I need to go back. When I had my surgery a couple weeks ago, I had to take off my polish or whatever. New York. How did you like New York? New York is very busy. Florida. I've been to Florida. Uh, I think you were saying I got to go. I'm going to bed. If that's what you were saying, Letty, I feel you. And you have a good night. Thank you for coming on to say hi. I really appreciate it. Bye to places. I feel you. I feel you. That's what I was saying. Normally I am in bed at this time. I'm just getting home from my daughter's volleyball game. Have a good night. I would love to see you come back. Take care. How did you feel about the United States, Mister? Did you like it? Could you see yourself living in the United States or Canada? Y'all get free health care and all that. Like, it's certain things that I don't care how nice the area is, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. I'm born in Canada, but I'm Italian. Period. You know how to cook? Got to. Okay. Okay, so you live in the States. Got you, got you, got you. I do want to go to Canada. I said next year that, I don't know. Like, I'm finally to the point in my life where I would like to check out different states and travel to different states. Like before, I used to be out of the country, like all inclusive me. But I want to check out like some of the places in the United States. Like top on my bucket list right now is Chicago. I want to go to Chicago to like check out their hotels, check out the food, just for a couple days, just like a little weekend stay. I'll be 40 in December, so that's what I want to do. How did you like it? I heard nothing but good things about Chicago. I don't already, I don't want to go in December. However, I don't do the cold anymore. Even though like my birthday is in December, I can't do the cold. I prefer fall, spring time. Okay, it was like a long distance relationship. I'm all in your business. I'm curious. Was it like a long distance relationship? Just to hook up? Where were you at when for that person to be in Chicago? Where were you at the time? And I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for replying and everything. I was there for a weekend. Oh, so thank you, Gabby. So it really wasn't somebody you was dating. It was just a hookup. You gotta be specific with your words because when you say dating, dating to me means that you went out a couple of times. Honey, you done hooked up with homegirl, hit it and quit it. Okay, I'm almost 40 years old, Gabby, and I don't know what. Oh, you said it's giving eating. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. 'Cause you, hi guys. This is my little daughter. He thinks this is yeah. 'Cause I go, yeah, I think that would be cute. Bye guys. I need you to find my follow my TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. YouTube has been having all of my time and attention. The people just know how to talk better. I connect better. She said, "Bye YouTube." We hooked up every time I went there. Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, why you didn't try to take it serious? Was it the distance or whatever, or you just not the type that want to settle in? I think like in my previous life, in my next life, I'm gonna really be a matchmaker. But people might not want me to match them because I'm single. People, and Mister, now you need your behind me. Have you finally settled down? What was you doing messing with that married woman? Now, what if something happened to where a slip up happened and you in the running for a potential baby dad situation? We hooked up every time. Yeah. See, you cutting up. You are cutting up. She asked me to be around. And where was the husband at? See, and that's why y'all be having trust issues because y'all be finding people that do everything you wouldn't trust in another person and be okay with it. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. So did you end the relationship or did she end the situationship? You are funny. See, men don't be caring. Like I'm so big on girl code. Like I don't want nothing that nobody else got. I don't even want to be in a running for a situation. Like the husband found out. Did he confront you? We need a story time now, Mister. Because now I'm invested. He's still sick. It had to be a situation to where she didn't respect that man. Like, like clearly we know that she didn't respect that man because you went out and you was having an affair with somebody. Or maybe he just didn't think that it was too serious, but the fact that every time you came into town, you was hooking up with her, it was pretty serious. Yeah, we need a story time. Like, I need to hear. I need to How can I add you on here, or you don't want to go live? How can I add other people on here? Cause I'm curious now, and I need to. I'm starting to forget the things that I asked because as soon as you answer, like now I'm thinking of something else to say. Now, have you finally found somebody? Like, how long ago was that situation? How many years ago was that? I didn't ask you too many questions in one. Thank you for joining my live. Thank you. I'm sitting up here trying to dig into Mr. Persupio or Super. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So was this year, and she had to have been laying the smackdown because you kept going back. Now, are you the type of person that believe in karma though? Like I said, how old are you? Some dudes like that. I that you know what? I ain't even mad at you because I hear that. I hear that a lot of guys be saying it. It's like a ego type thing. 42. Okay. Some dudes like that. So is that something? And she was 34. How long was they married? And when's the last time y'all talked? Why you can't get on this live? 13. Did they have kids? Hey Sam. Cuban, somebody on here that got a track record worse than you or Cuban Smith. Like, let me stop messing with you, Mister. But you know you was wrong messing with that woman and she was married. She was wrong too because she the one with the vows or whatever. 13 years. Did they have kids? Double tap the screen, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. We sitting up here trying to get the tea. We trying to get a story time from Mister. That's not my problem. I never asked. Now, are you somebody that sees yourself as settling down, or do you just want to get out and mix and mingle? Like, have you ever been hurt to where this is like you and your player stage? Because you've been up there in eight. Like, it's time to get somewhere sitting. Can somebody put their clothes in the dryer? Where's my sweatpants? Because I was looking for my black sweatpants and I cannot find them. I'm an Italian fellow. I don't know what that means. Okay. So you pretty much trying to say like a player from the Himalayas. Cuban Smith, how your day been going? I hope everybody's been having a good day. The week is really moving fast, which is very rare being a sales. Usually when you have like a weekday off, I feel like it be dragging, but maybe because I had a busy day today too. Like it was very low key at first. Like I went out, had my little self a solo date, and then it got busy. Once I had to be a lot of places for Carrie. I know that's right. She loved it. I'm sure. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just can never juggle many things because number one, I'm very mindful of where I give my time to, and I like to give people the option. Like I don't know if I got ADD or ADHD. I just can't be juggling too many things, and I just don't care to be entertained in too many things. Like, what's the point of getting married? But you know what? Some people be having open relationships and doing what they do. But again, what's the point of getting married then? Like that's why for me, I think I'm gonna have to wait until like I get like 50 before I sit up there and decide I'm ready to get married. I say that now, then pop up next year married. Thank you. Thank you for passing through. Have a good night. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Don't be popping up on here when you bored. Yeah, go ahead and pop up on here because then you could stay out of trouble, Cuban Smith. You could do that. So you took a vacation. You took time off too. You and your wife, and you why are you bored? I'm glad to see you on here though. You know I gotta throw a joke in there every now and then. I gotta throw a joke in there at you. That's what families do. We can't be now. We locked in. Who else live you been on? I have not checked out anybody else's live outside of my cousins. I really gotta do a better job of doing that. Um, but again, I'm just trying to balance it all. Talk to you, and I appreciate that. Normally I'm asleep at this time, like I said, but just getting home late um, from my daughter's volleyball game, I'm still trying to find balance. I said I was going to edit a video of it and have it available, but um, I have on a dress. I'm not hot, and I'm not taking nothing off for YouTube. Honey. This ain't that type of party. The topic was somebody on here messing with a married woman. Going to Chicago to mess with that married woman. That's what the topic was. And how some men like that. And I don't know if that's like I can't even see how that can I ask you something? What you gotta ask me? I sure will. I'm surprised she's not on here. I saw her when I woke up this morning, it was like around 6 o'clock and it said that she was on live earlier this morning. I had missed her. Yes, he was messing with a married woman. They was married for 13 years. It's all in the chat. I was trying to get him to go on the live with me. Thank you. Glad to see you here. Um, yeah, but Mister was saying that he an Italian stallion and he was messing with a woman from Chicago. He said he got them in different area codes. So I was just curious. I was asking him about all the different places he's been and everything. Did I get that right, Mister? So I'm not messing with the married woman. That's what I was trying to get more information as to see like, and he still ain't answered some of my questions. I was wondering like, does he plan on settling down? Do you just prefer to not have the commitment? Like, what makes people sit up there and have multiple different people? You love the meat, but you ain't gotta be giving up meat if you know what I mean. Headed to the bar. I don't drink. And listen, I'm still recovering. I'm still taking it easy. Not saying that you gotta drink when you go sober. I know that, cause I'm the mocktail queen. However, I done been out all day, and I still am experiencing the symptoms of my surgery. So I don't even trust myself to be driving at night for that reason. No, they're still together. Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like, what was your longest relationship, or you don't want to be in a relationship, or have somebody that you can call your own? Like, what is that giving? I had a hysterectomy. I had fibroids, and they were causing me a lot of issues, so I had to get a hysterectomy. I am doing very well. I got it done on August 16th, and the method in which it was done did not cause me any pain and everything. The main symptom, like I find myself to be like experiencing discomfort because I like to sleep on my side, and I can't really get comfortable sleeping that way. But the main thing is just me being tired. Like fatigue is got me in a chokehold. Every day I wake up and I feel like I got a little bit more energy, and it humbles me every day. Uh, thank you. I'm a single mom, so I really don't have the time to be tired. So, like I said before, I went to my daughter's volleyball game, and I was so tired. I came home from my little solo date and tried to take a nap or whatever, and I just could not even take a nap because I was scared I was going to oversleep and miss it. It's a traditional system, and it's even in the Bible. And see, I agree with you. Like, it's a huge commitment, and I don't know why some people, like, I even had this mind frame that even when I had kids, that it was going to last forever. And some people, you know, get married or have kids and don't realize that kids are more of a commitment than even marriage, unfortunately. Like how this world operates now, they look at it like as being the lesser of both evils. And I'm like, nah, like if you plan on being in your kids' life, you got weddings, you got birthdays, you got graduation, like that's a forever commitment. So I don't get that. But again, this is why. Like it's several things. Oh please, am I wrong? What you say? I hope everything goes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Listen, I'm still so I go back to my doctor for like my follow up. I just had a follow up on I can't even remember the date. But it was last week sometime, last Wednesday. And I didn't experience any pain. I had did so much research on hysterectomies, and a lot of people were saying that they were in pain, like they had trapped gas like up to their shoulders and things like that. Like they couldn't get out of bed. They needed people constantly taking care of them and everything. And I didn't experience any of that stuff. Like when I woke up from after my surgery, I was like, I need to see my uterus because I don't think y'all did anything. Like I was groggy, yes, but I didn't feel any pain. Within like 2 days because they were telling me like to make sure that I was taking the pain medicines like around the clock because it would be hard to like manage the pain if I wasn't taking it. But I got my surgery done on a Friday and I stopped taking my medicine on that Monday so that I can get my kids home from the bus. So for that reason, I really think like I don't try to minimize or I don't think that people are exaggerating the truth when it comes to hysterectomy. Because my doctor has even told me I should still be taking it easy, be on bed rest and everything. But again, with my responsibilities and my kids being involved in different things, I can't. So when I met with her last week, she told me that she does not recommend that I do anything more than what I'm doing. Uh, yeah, so it's just me tired all the time. Okay, so you said I met her in a club. I didn't ask her if she was married. What do I care? I didn't want to be there. Be the man of her dreams. I just wanted to be the man she wanted. Mm, You slickster right there. But for the simple fact that you kept going back in town, like how often were you going? Some people have different colors. I think some relationships are better without marriage, but I don't know how to explain it. Like to me, like what's the point? Like what are y'all doing? Like what are the intentions? Like granted, you could like for me, I don't see myself wanting to date. I'm not looking for a relationship or anything. So I can't even see myself wasting somebody's time. But I understand that that's just me. But I don't understand the dynamics of. I don't even be thinking some people be um for some people because I have a lot of like male friends and everything, and I have brothers, so I feel like I'm qualified to say this. But for some men and some women, dating should be the last thing on your mind, in my opinion. I think you need something good time to keep you warm. But listen, I don't think I need that. No, I don't do no hookup. Mm-mm. I have daughters, and not saying that I'm holier than thou or anything like that, but I'm not in my 20s. I'm not in my um, 30s and stuff like that. So certain things is just not appeal to me. I'm always smiling. I'm a happy going person, but I'm smiling because it never gave that. Not over here. Some are abusive. Yeah, and see for me, um, the older I get, no matter how much you try to see the good in people, you can't change red flags. You can't make a red flag green. But I do know that some people's upbringing, some ways that people have been raised to think, like, oh, you just stick with a situation, nobody's perfect, and you're not gonna find anybody perfect, and all this other stuff. So you don't settle for, you get what I'm saying? Like a person might not check off. What's the meme? I seen a meme on one of them socials where it was saying um God said he sent me my husband, but I ain't want him because he had on Hulu or something like that. Like I know I'm pushing it, but at the end of the day, you're smiling because you're cute. I appreciate that. You look like you're in your 20s. I'll be 40 December 13th. Yeah, I think that people just need to be real with themselves. Like I had this one friend, uh, a guy friend, right, and he would always call me like looking for advice and stuff like that, and I would give him advice. I felt like he had a detachment, like he was just in the business of looking for like people to hook up with. And he would find like a couple people that he was interested in and stuff like that. And I started noticing like different things. And I'm the type of person, all I can do is keep it real with somebody. So I remember him like asking me, like reaching out one time, and he was just like, "Oh, can I borrow some money or whatever?" Like, and it was $20 or whatever. And I was bothered by that. Like, I don't mind helping people out, but at the end of the day, I'm a single mom. Let's be clear. And then I'm like, I see you at the club and the bar all the time, and you got a nerve to be calling me, asking me for advice and stuff like that. Like, dating should be the last on your. So when I sit up there and say some people don't need to be dating, dating should be the last thing on your list. And then he was just telling me like this one situation where he made this girl dinner and everything when she got off of work. You use her groceries though. Like I can't, and I'm not an ungrateful person, but that does not. I'm not attracted to that. Like, don't sit up there and make me no eggs and bacon, and I'm the one that brought home the bacon. Like, I'm too old for that. Like I'm too mature. Like nowadays, a person gotta shock me with having your own place. When I say like a man, because that's very rare. Unfortunately, that is very rare, and I know that the economy is different and stuff like that. But I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even be able to find myself inviting a man to my house. Like, mm-mm. I wonder. I don't have none. I don't have none. And I might be a prune. I might be all of the things that you like. But at the end of the day, I've been single for 4 years. I did a lot of work on myself, and again, I guess that would be the only thing that people sit up there like when I ask people like, what am I missing by not dating? Like, what am I missing by being single? And that's the first thing people throw up. I could deal without that. Hi, parents. I know you just came. I don't take no offense. You're being very respectful, even in your joking way. You're not like this has probably been like my first full week of going live, and I've been blocking people left and right. Cuban, what I miss? Why do you say, well, really, everything will be cool before marriage, but after marriage, Lord have mercy. And see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know why. See, I feel like, um, I don't know how old everybody is in here, but I know that Mr. You said it's 242, and I hope you're okay with me calling you Mr. It's just easier for me to say it like that. But for me, I feel like I come from the generation before social media and after social media. So now that we have like after social media, it's a lot more things that's coming to light as far as what people found went wrong in their marriages. Oh, we stopped dating each other. The things that we fell in love with each other for, we stopped doing that. Why? Now, for me, I've been in different relationships. Hi. I've been in different relationships. I want to say I had like four, maybe serious relationships, and they've all been like long term from like high school up until, like I said, 4 or 5 years ago. And I feel like my detachment is what led me to like leave the people alone. Like I've always been very independent. I got 3 degrees. I have a decent job. Um, I don't ask anybody for anything. I'm not a gold digger. What's yours is yours. What's mine is mine. Bada bang, bada boom. Now, I can see where I went wrong in certain situations. I could take full accountability. Like I was saying before, you're 44. I am from the Caribbean islands. But I feel like a lot of people be having unrealistic, silent expectations because they want things that they've never expressed, or they'll complain about not having things. Like talking to another good friend, like men want submissive women, but don't realize that what they saw as being a submissive woman came from like their grandparents, who the grandfather father probably groomed the mom into believing that. Like my mom and dad were married, but they were divorced when I was 2 years old. So all I know is my mom being single in her situation, and then my dad that got married recently. So for me, again, I'm looking at my mom's situation as her being the one that's providing, working 2 jobs, and you got a boyfriend. And I'm looking at her like you could be doing so much better. Like you just want company. And I grew up like I had well, four of us. My dad has 4 kids, two with my mom, which is me and my older brother, and then my dad has two younger kids. So for me, I'm just like, even though I have a great relationship with my dad, I'm a daddy's girl. I was raised by my mom. So with all my other siblings living with my dad, I know how to be by myself. So I never seek to have company. Like after a while, I'm just like, keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. And I just really like I've even had my mom say like, "Oh, I just hope that you find a good husband." And I'm like, why? Like why? Like it's a lot of things that's not right about myself. Like I can admit that I've done a lot better. I'm talking about like a couple years ago. But you're not going to just be sitting up there trying to rush me into a situation. No, no. And like I said, I really feel responsible. I was talking to somebody, a mom at my daughter's volleyball game, and she was saying that she would like to get into speed dating. And I'm like, I want to come. Because in my previous life, in my mind, I think I could be a mind reader because I could really detect some things. Thank you, Deandra. I've seen you on here before. Did you subscribe to the channel? You then came back again. I appreciate you. Yeah, so. And then it's just like everybody has their own agenda. Like some people be extra nice because now you need somewhere to sleep on the couch. Like it's very rare. It's very rare. Yeah, see, we all are within the same age group, and it's just I'd rather be the big sis. I'd rather be the big sis that give you advice and stuff like that because and let me just say this: me being a woman, I also hold my female friends accountable too. Like I just feel like so many people are influenced by unrealistic things that they're so willing to try it out and see what's out there. And I'm like, you getting ready to mess up your whole home trying to sit up there and get attention from somebody that may not have your best interest. I realize that the different races function. I think it might be a little bit of everything. I really think that it might be a little bit of everything that plays a factor into that. Because again, a lot of times what you don't like about a person, you try to not become. Like I didn't have to experience certain things growing up to realize that that's not what I wanted for my life, just based off of things that I was around. So, um, now what I will say, I've been down here in Georgia for almost 5 years, and I do feel like people tend to lock in more when it comes to marriage. Like I don't know if that's a southern hospitality thing. I don't know if I don't know how that works. I'm curious to know too because I feel like down in the south, like marriage is a big thing. Just like I feel like church, religion, and all that is a big thing as well. Because there's a church on every street, just like it's a Waffle House down here. So I definitely feel what you're saying when it comes to that. Yo, it's 10:27. I probably got like another 20 minutes or so. I always enjoy these conversations. I like getting people's perspectives. I see how long I could hang. My daughter said she was going to take her sister to the bus stop yesterday because she forgot her cell phone at her friend's house. So I'm gonna see how much longer I got. I gotta get my rest. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if a person's wife or partner reminds them of their mom. Like certain people, like when you find out that they're having relationship problems or marriage problems, and they're like, oh well, they don't cook, and I'm like, did they ever cook? Did they cook during that relationship? Like you overlooked that for so many years, and now it's a problem for you. Like I be thinking like people are just trying to find like an easy way out of a situation. I do absolutely, and that's where I wasn't raised in a church, Deandra. I was not raised in the church, so me believing in God and everything, I really started taking serious as an adult. And that's why I'm able to sit up here and take accountability for myself because Like prime example, it's a scripture in the Bible just talking about. I think it's in Proverbs how like a woman has the power to tear down a house with her words, and that was me. That was me. Like I never realized how much power was in my tongue. Like how that would cut deep. And now, even as far as like me being a mom and everything, I'm like I make sure I tell my kids that like give them affirmations when they leave the house. I make sure I tell them I love them. I make sure that I don't try to yell at them in the morning or before they go to bed at night. Like it's just different things that now I use my words to like uplift them instead of tearing them down. And I agree with you. I definitely think that when a person is born could have some effects. Like I hear all the time because I was born in December that I'm blunt. I'm a blunt person. I just say what I'm thinking. I don't mean any ill will. Like I've even gotten to the point, like again, just understanding like how my words may have the power to tear somebody down, and that's not my intention. I'm like, you want my advice, or you just want me to listen? Because I don't know how to sugarcoat stuff, and I don't think that that's realistic to do. Like certain people come to me because they want the truth. But if you don't know me, like I could either rub you the wrong way or, vice versa. But I'm like, I'm not gonna sit up there and tell you what you wanna hear, just to stroke your ego. Like prime example, like my sister, she's in a long term relationship. I'm very proud of her and her boyfriend and how they set up a dynamic. It's That's a tough question because I feel like I could give you so much advice from different perspectives. So, you mean like as far as are you single or are you in a relationship? Like, give me a little bit more context if you don't mind, so I could be more actual and factual. However, someone would be. Yeah, yeah. And I really just feel like people have to like now the place and space that I'm at. Like, if I do ever choose to settle down, I have it in my mind of not trying to find reasons to leave, but trying to find reasons to stay. Because I know how temperamental I can get when it's that time of the month. You get what I'm saying? Like when it's that time of the month, it might be a little bit different for me now because I got a hysterectomy. But I'm irritable. Like I'm tired all the time. I'm normally like a joking, playful person. But if it's that time of the month, you better read the room. You gotta read the room because I'm getting ready to chew you up. And then I be having to sit up there and think like to myself, like, and I don't want to keep apologizing. You get what I'm saying? I want to identify the problems within myself before I even have to get to that point. So, and that's what I'm saying. Now, what I will say is, like, for instance, in my last relationship, once I got pregnant, we started seeing each other less and less. Like my daughter was my child father's first child, and I think that I was operating in that relationship out of fear, like or being a single mom and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, this now, mind you, my daughter's 11, so give me some grace, okay? Give me some grace because again, I came from a single mom household. Uh, I'm not used to seeing people make things work and stuff like that. So once I found out that I was pregnant, it was like he started working so much. Like he was doing overtime. I'm doing overtime. I'm tired all the time because I have a child growing inside of me. And I just really felt a disconnect. Like I would sit up there and be like, hey, like we need to prioritize, we need to spend time with each other, da 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 da. And now that I am where I am in my life, we have a great relationship, even with him living where he lives. Like we co-parent very well because now we have a better understanding of who each other are. And this was not somebody that was a stranger. Like this was a family friend. This was my brother's best friend growing up that I had a child with. So one thing that I realized is a person who you meet that's single is a completely different person that's a parent. Like if that makes sense. So in my case, like I was saying it very nice. I was making suggestions, and then when I wasn't getting my way, now it's turning into an argument because he's becoming defensive. Oh well, I'm a provider, and da 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 da. And I'm like, you don't have to be the full provider. And I'm thinking like I'm doing something that any man would want because I'm meeting you halfway. I'm sitting up there trying to make your life easier or whatever, but he came from a two-parent household. His mom and dad were married over 20 something years, but his dad was never home. His dad was never able to attend his sports games and his sports activities because his dad worked the way that he did. So that's all he knew. He could not conform to anything different. So that's where we bumped heads, and not really understanding. Like, I think that is very important now that when dating and getting to know somebody, what that family life was like. Like, how was their upbringing? Did they come from a two-parent household? How do they handle conflict and stuff like that? Anything that's dealing with life that makes sense. So, what I'm saying now, that can be applied to life. Like, you really gotta know like a person's upbringing because I just use like my family as a reference. My dad having four kids. I was the first out of my siblings to go to college. I got 3 degrees. I really just became like an overachiever. Like my mom was not very vocal with her words and things like that. So I felt like I always wanted to do things that she would sit up there and say that she was proud of me for because I was constantly being put down or compared to other people. So I realize now that I did all that, and not to say that my degrees don't mean anything, but some people you're never going to get the results that you want out of them, and that's okay. You gotta sit up there and find the things that you feel is worth you fighting for, and all of that. So if I could just give you some advice, find what your passion is. Find things that you love and enjoy, and it'll never feel like work. It would never feel like you're looking for somebody to sit up there and be proud of yourself. Like I look back and I'm so proud of myself as far as the type of mom I am. Deandra, I am so proud and I'm still flawed. I'm very imperfect. However, like I talk to my kids, we talk about dating, we talk about um that time of the month things, like everything that I never had in my mom. Like and I don't hate my mom. I forgive my mom because I understand. Like I actually have a lot of compassion for how she grew up, but I chose to do it differently, and that's okay. I'll bring in the tradition and the thing. Yes, you are absolutely right, and stay on that journey. And one thing that I will tell you is that the Bible always says that there will be trials and tribulations, and there will be trials and tribulations. Every time that I look back at all the trials and the seasons that I felt like were very hard for me to navigate, I just remember to keep my faith. Because it's not what you do in those seasons, it's a lot of times like how you react. So if those seasons are causing you to lose your faith, um, my dad used to tell me either you're going to worry or you're going to pray, but you can't do both. And that is the God's honest truth. Thank you. Thank you. That's the God's honest truth. Like for me, I felt like when I used to worry, it would cancel out my prayers. Like if I don't even have this type of time to give you all the testimonies that I can share with you all. Like down to the time, like I said before, those of you that have come back to my channel, I'm going through the process of adopting my youngest. And it's so crazy how God's promises always will ring true. And people that I grew up with that remember me talking about adopting way before I even had my own kids, like I had even let that go out of my mind. That had went out of my mind. And my friend called me one day and was like, "You still thinking about adopting?" And like how that happened. Like how when I left my hometown to like move down to Georgia, just me and my kids. I found my house online. I found our schools online. I just had to trust God. I knew that everything was going to work for His good. Thank you. Sometimes we have to pay ourselves on the path and remind ourselves we are doing an amazing job. And the thing is, everybody does things differently. Everybody does things differently. So I could sit up here and give you advice like turn left, make a right, and then you might be like, "Yo, did you know they just put a road here?" Like I got there in 2 seconds. Like the way you had me going would have had me get there in an hour. You get what I'm saying? So you just gotta navigate things the best of your ability. And I feel like I'm the type of person I'm so transparent with my life because things don't happen to you but for you. Whether that's to be able to give somebody else encouragement or just to keep yourself encouraged. Like I look back on my life and I'm like, yo, God, you got me so far. You have one daughter. And kids are a blessing. Kids are a blessing because I even used to find myself having these silent expectations of my daughters. Like when we first moved down here and they are meeting and connecting with friends, mind you, when we lived in Delaware, the whole time, like their family was their friend. So it was more of like a trusting standpoint. However, because I was sexually abused as a kid by a family member, I still had my head on the swivel. I wasn't down with the sleepovers and stuff like that. But when we came down here, like my daughter, she wanted to like go out, hang out with her friends, and I'm like, that's all cool and everything, but I gotta meet the parents. So this one particular time, I was like, she was like, well, mom, they here, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk you outside. I get to the car, I see like other girls in the car. I want to say it was 4 people because my daughter being in the back would have made her the fifth person. And I'm looking at the girl and I'm like, hi, like I'm Jahan, I'm Jordan's mom. And the girl was like, hi, I'm such and such, I'm such and such sister. And I was like, if you don't mind me asking how old are you? And she was like 16. And I was like, I don't mean no harm, but she's not gonna be able to go with y'all. And I could tell that like my daughter was like embarrassed and she was mad or whatever. But when we got in the house, I told her, "Thank you. Keep that crown on top of your head. I'm rooting for you. I know you've been through a lot. Keep pushing." Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope that like I'm able to give somebody the strength and encouragement to go on as well because tough times don't last long. If you think about like the summertime and now we're going into the fall, like those leaves are going to change colors, they're going to fall off the trees, but in a couple months they're going to be back. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so when we got back in the house, I told her, I was like, listen, the reason why I said you couldn't go is because number one, she's 16, and not saying that there's anything wrong with 16-year-olds, but all y'all being in that car, that's too much of a distraction. I remember growing up, we weren't even allowed to have more than a certain number of people in the car with us at a certain age. Like it just was not allowed. And I'm like, we're new from this town. Like we don't even know. I'm still using my GPS to get around. And I'm like, God forbid you don't come back, your phone dies, and I don't know how to describe the car. I don't know where they live. I don't have nobody's number to get in contact with. And when I explained that to her like that, she was just like, Mom, I don't even want to go in. Because like I said, like their dads live in Delaware and I hear from them all the time that I'm a great mom and stuff like that. But I also have the added pressure to look after my kids for their sake as well. Because if we just being honest, you hear about all the time like baby mama problems, baby dad problems, bitter people and all this other stuff. Like if we just being honest, like my kid's father could have fought me and prevented me from coming to Georgia. And a lot of times people will be like, well, how did you get here? What made you come here? What made me come here is the fact that, again, my dad has 4 kids. I'm one of four with my dad. My dad is married. He got married later on in life. He was a little after 50 years old. And my mom is single. My older brother, that is also my mom and dad, he's never even been down here to visit. And in my mind, like, so what I was thinking about, like, my middle daughter, her dad lost his mom unexpectedly. So all this stuff was going on during the pandemic. And my thing is, let me go ahead and make this move now. Like, God forbid, we didn't know what was going on. with COVID and all that. So I came down here to like help be there and supporting my mom. Um, so that's how I ended up coming to Georgia. My mom lives in Alabama. I didn't want to live in Alabama. That's where both my parents are from. And just every summer we would, as often in the summertime as we possibly could, we would go back and visit Alabama. So I never wanted to live there. Like I'm glad that I was able to see that because now I look back and I'm like, yo, my mom and dad left Alabama to pursue a different life for us, which I'm grateful for. But that wasn't what I saw for myself. So I came just to let you know your voice has an echo. Oh, I don't know why. It's not an echo on my end, and I'm not denying the fact that it is. So I'm sorry if that is the case. And my battery is just about fully charged. Is this better? I'm sorry. Yeah, so I came down here to like be closer to my mom, like when my daughter lost her grandma unexpectedly. And when I tell you she was a great support system, very encouraging, like a Christian woman, like she poured into me a lot. And she just reassured me for different things. So, hey, yes, yes, we on here talking about trauma and all the things. So I'm just giving like a little backstory about my life and everything. So that's what got me down here. And once I had my hysterectomy, I was really and not that it was that long ago. I just had my hysterectomy August 16th, and I was like very hurt because even growing up, even though I lived with my mom, whenever I would get sick at school and needed somebody to come pick me up, my dad was the one that come pick me up. I was on homecoming and prom court. My dad was the only one that showed up. I felt like every time I would try to get my mom to come do something for me or in support of me regarding school, my mom would be like, "Oh, I gotta work and I can't take off from work." And later on, I ended up working for the same company that my mom worked for. It was bought out by another company, but I remember having talks with her, and I was just like, "Yo, like, why didn't you ever want to show up?" And it was always about working, and I'm like, "Yo, I work for the same company. We get volunteer time, you get PTO, you get all of that." And I'm just like looking at my kids. I can't even imagine there being a time ever in life where I don't show up for my kids. I don't care what's going on. So, we bump heads a lot of times. She's not like the affectionate mom. She's a way different mom than I am. But as I started having like my walk with God and everything, I started seeing things differently. And I started realizing that in order to get to where I need to be in life, I gotta start forgiving her and just trying to get to know her, like, and who she was, because she doesn't open up. Like, she's not the type of person that opens up. But I just remember, like, last year when I found out that I had fibroids, and that was what was causing me to, like, have, like, my heavy cycles and stuff like that. Um, when I left the doctor's office and found out that that was the cause. Now, mind you, I go to the doctors every year. When I was in Delaware, I was complaining about having heavy cycles. They were like, "Oh, some people just have low iron. You're anemic." I would eat ice all the time. And when they did an internal ultrasound, and they were like, "Oh, you have fibroids," you didn't know you had fibroids, and I was like, no, I never heard that. Now I have like a certain group of friends that are amongst my community that I share everything with. Like I'm sharing with y'all, I talk to them, and I'm like, y'all know for a fact I've never told y'all that I had fibroids. So during that appointment, my doctor was just saying like telling me my options and stuff like that, and she was like, because I had went through 3 iron infusions, she was like, once we get your levels to where they need to be, by removing the fibroids, you shouldn't have to take any more iron infusions. So I'm like, well, what are my options? She was like, the least invasive would be to have like a myectomy done where they would go in and remove the fibroids. However, none of the methods except for hysterectomy guarantee that they wouldn't come back. I didn't feel like I was ready to make that drastic decision at the time. So like I found out in October that I had fibroids. November I was scheduled for my myomectomy. Um, I had to go see my hematologist in January because I had just finished a round of iron infusions in October, and I was like, my levels have went up then, but I'm still having the heavy cycle. So I'm already knowing that the reason why my levels are so low is because of how much blood I'm losing. When I went to my OB in February just to have like a follow up for after my surgery, I'm just like, I know that my body may still be healing from November, but they're still bad. And my mom was like, "Oh, that's why I had to get a hysterectomy because at 21 because I had fibroids too." And I'm like, "You ain't never say nothing about that." Like I'm just like, I don't know if it's like her generation that they just don't share or open up because I've had other friends whose moms are very close in age to my mom and they said the same thing. But for me, I'm total opposite. Like I'm sharing with my kids and I'm like, you gotta watch the things that you eat. As a kid, my mom used to put relaxers in my hair. Like my kids have never had any type of chemicals in their hair. So now that I even have a hysterectomy, I'm just like, do you think I can go ahead and go back to relaxers because I like to be able to wear my hair curly and I like to be able to wear my hair straight. But as I'm getting older, it's just like I don't want to be spending all the time doing my hair. I already have three daughters whose hair I have to do. But and talking to my mom, I found out that she was embarrassed like of a lot of things. And when I started doing my walk with God, having my Christian walk and everything, I would say things that I was coming from a place of love because I told you like some people were like, "Oh, your mouth," and I don't mean any ill will, but my mom was one of 10 kids. She was the second oldest. My older aunt, my her older sister left Alabama when she was 18 and she came and moved to Georgia. And my mom like didn't finish high school or anything. She was the one having to take care of her younger siblings. So when I started trying to figure out like what would make her like loving my kids the way I love my kids, I tried to like put my mom's glasses on and see like, and then I started thinking to myself like maybe she never wanted to be a mom. Maybe she resented having to take the still like my grandma's shoes. Like my grandma died. I want to say she was like 45 when she died from cancer. It was nice talking to you, Mrs. I will see you again soon. Thank you. You have a good night. Yeah. So, I used to think like maybe she just did not want to have kids and like looked at it as more of a burden. Like I saw how loving and nurturing she was in a relationship. I just felt like she just did not want that with me. And when I got into the church and I started trying to like open up and tell her like how different things impacted me and how I was and everything, she would get very offended. And I'm like, you can't change my story. Like, even if that's not how you felt, like, give me the chance and the time to like tell you. So when I got my hysterectomy, she had initiated like, oh, I'm gonna come there and all this other stuff. And I come from a family who does not manage their money well at all. So that was like one of the things that I was very intentional about. I'm like, I don't gamble, I don't do any of that. To each their own. I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke. You can sit up there and call me boring just before I go. Are you a Christian? Yeah, I'm Christian. Um, yeah, so you can call me everything like that, but I'm just like I've seen how that tore up like my family. I've seen how relationships have ended as a result of these different things. I just never wanted that for myself. And I just remember like her talking about like, oh, I'm gonna do this with the kids and so forth and so on. And then she came out and was like, oh, she went to the casino and lost her money. So once she said that, I already knew it was out the window. So I had reached out to my aunt and I was like, can you take me to get my surgery? They're saying that I can't drive and all this other stuff. Like I had a hysterectomy. So my aunt was like, of course we're family. Like I'm glad you called me this and the third. And I had to just be honest with her. And I was like, I feel some type of way that my mom didn't offer to come. Like, I relocated my kids and I take full accountability because my mom did not ask me to. Like, that's just a survival mode the mind frame that I went into, like, with my daughter losing her grandma. And I said I feel some type of way that like my mom didn't offer to like be here for my surgery to like help and everything like that. Hey, you still lonely? What should I watch? Um, I don't know. I don't know what you should watch because I haven't been into anything lately or whatever. If you have Hulu, Reasonable Doubt is a very good show. Second season only had 3 episodes, so that might pick you off. But if you haven't seen it yet, the very first one is good. Yeah, but I told my aunt, and because they're sisters but wasn't raised by each other, I think that my aunt didn't realize that my mom had those characteristics or ways about herself. So she called her and she was like talking to her. No, she was talking to her and she was like, they got into it. And I told my aunt because I can speak my mind, I know how to articulate how I feel. But certain people, you just know they're going to get defensive. Like, I've already said all this stuff before. I didn't want to say anything to my mom because I'm like, the next day I was due to have my surgery. I don't want to be under and just having that type of tension and stuff. Like, I just really wanted to get that off my chest by saying that I felt some type of way. Next thing I know, y'all, I get a text from my mom talking about, oh, I will be there this weekend and I won't be coming back in October. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, I knew right then and there my aunt had said something. And when she came to pick me up the next day to take me to my procedure, I was just like, she apologized and she was like, "No, I'm sorry for saying something." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't. I'm okay with you saying something. I just didn't want." She was going to deflect. It wasn't going to be her fault. It wasn't going. She's never, and that's where I had to find peace at because I'm like, she's never been that type of person. Even when she was here this past weekend, because she did end up coming, and I said, you have to realize that your mom is going to show and express her love by doing things. And when I say by doing things, like she used to say, "Oh well, I bought you braces. I didn't sit up there and spend money on a way that I would never sit up there and find myself throwing in my kids' face things that I'm supposed to do as a parent." And like I said, I'm not trying to come from a place of knocking her. I just know that that's one of her love languages. I think that like because her mom had so many kids, that wasn't anything that her mom was ever able to do for her. So this is like uh I want a pat on my back for what I did for you because I didn't have to do all this. And I'm like, I ain't never think my teeth was that big. Like, it definitely elevated me. But if I'm just being honest, you got me braces because you wanted to get me braces. I ain't never had a problem. I never felt insecure about my teeth or anything like that. But it just goes to show you, everybody's on their own path. Everybody deals with problems and their emotions differently. Um, and it's still a work in progress. Like I even just had to tell my kids, like my mom is very close to my 5 year old, and I think that's because number one, she has sympathy for her because I'm going through the phase of adopting her, and number two, I feel like she's been the most a part of her life. Like my oldest two, they had their grandparents back in Delaware that were very active, involved in her life, and she wasn't. So now she's my middle daughter's only grandmother or whatever. And yeah, so sorry for that long story or whatever, but certain things like that just I don't want my kids to ever feel like they have to do things to like make me or their dad happy. Like, are you doing what makes you happy? Or are you getting up excited about your day because you have something to look forward to? Now, don't get me wrong, they're in middle school and high school, so you're going to sit up there and find frustration. I even had to say, like, if you need a mental health day, like, it's okay if you miss a day of school. They don't even want to miss a day of school. So just knowing that I've instilled those things in my kids, he was someone like, yes, I know all that. Yeah, yes, yes. Um, yeah. So just knowing that, and like I said, I'm still on my walking on my journey. I was not raised in the church. So I'm still learning. But yes, I'm a Christian. I love God. Jesus is my father. The things that he has been able to do, and even before, like when I tell y'all my first round of iron infusions, I almost did not go back just because of the financial hardship that it caused for me. I know that God is real. Like when I tell you, I used to get so irritated and frustrated that I had to. You have a good night. I had to keep going to different specialists, but and being here in Georgia, like I feel like the insurance and the billing is a lot different than what it was in Delaware because in Delaware, I remember just paying like a $15 to $25 copayment. You pay a copayment here and bills still be $1,000, like tied to you. However, because they were trying to figure out the root cause of what was causing me to have low iron and hemoglobin and all that, every specialist that I went to like get help, everything was billed under me being anemic. So I was able to meet my deductible. I didn't have to come out of pocket for my surgery at all. And that's where I'm kicking myself now because I'm like, dang, like had I had more the information or the comfort to go ahead and go with my hysterectomy last year, I wouldn't have had to pay for it. But I still am grateful and thankful because when you look at the bills and they give you an estimate, like that was damn near $20,000, and the part that I was responsible for was like a couple hundred. Like so, all of that you just can't tell me that God won't provide. He won't make a way when you don't see a way. It ain't for us to understand. He will use anybody to sit up there and get his message and point across. And he definitely has done that for me. And y'all, when my mom was here, she went to church with me this past Sunday. I missed it for the 2 Sundays prior because I was recovering. I wasn't able to drive. I was pretty much supposed to be on bed rest. And she called me this morning and was like, she's been listening to like the sermon that my pastor preached at the church. And I'm like, again, you can't tell me God ain't real because it's because of how he's using me that it's influencing other people around me as well. So yeah, but I done made this a long time with y'all. I'm getting ready. No problem, Kristen. Just calling me. Yeah, thank you for that explanation. Yeah. See, these are the kind of lives I like. Not no shade to like anything else, but I'm definitely like absolutely. Listen, and that's what I'm saying. Like even when it comes to relationships, he got me together though. Like in my season of singleness, I just recall being a petty person. Like I'm so not proud of this, but I used to pride myself in being like a girl's girl and stuff like that. When I left back home, I was blocking people. I was like, I ain't talking to these people. So when I started my journey and being intentional about spending time with God, and he was like, you need to call this person and apologize. And I'm like, why? We didn't outgrew each other. I'm trying to sit up here and tell him everything to prevent me from having to do what I know is right. And I just clearly remember him even telling me like, um, it does not mean that a relationship has to be rekindled with these people, but you was wrong in these situations. And when I tell you, I called people and I was just like, I'm sorry. I had to apologize. And I'm so glad that I did. Like I used to be when I was living for the world. I used to be so um like a people pleaser and all that. And then like another book that helped me out last year was called The Date of Satan by John Bevere. Um, Great book. Books are super expensive, so because I have been talking to you about books before, like when I tell you that book for me had me flying down the wall. I ain't even gonna hold you because it was talking about like unforgiveness, how like things such as unforgiveness can prevent you from going to heaven and everything like that. When I tell you, like, even growing up, people will be like trying to manipulate God's word, that being someone that did not go to church, I really fell for a lot of things. Like, I used to think that only certain things you can get put out of heaven, I mean, hell for, or whatever. So when I started getting to know God for myself, I'm like, y'all ain't really read your word. Y'all wasn't on your Zoom with God at the end of the day. God has a way of humor we will never understand. And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all wasn't on your Zoom. That's what I had to start saying, because I'm like, you cannot go to heaven just for unforgiveness. And John Bevere, he has a website, and I'll try to put it in this video because I think it's called Messenger. And any book that him and his wife or his family has created, they also have a podcast. When I tell you, this man, that's a good book right there. Y'all know how in that movie, that's a good man, Savannah. That's a good book right there, because it will really get you all the way together. Y'all see how little my ponytail is right now because I didn't cut my hair. That book will get you all the way together. Your ways of how you think things you've done is right, it will get you together. And that's what that book did for me. Like, I still had it, but you can go on to like his website and listen to it for free. And if you listen to the book like the Audible, he has this part in there that is called like Annabelle, and it's about a group of people that I forget the name of the place or whatever, but they have like after death experience. Am I allowed to say all that? Y'all know I don't know nothing about these community guidelines, but we just but they were it was like a mayor, um uh like different people or whatever. And some people made it to the hot place at the end of the day. And like the mayor, he was like very hard on him, and barely, I think, I can't even remember. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. But basically, I'm gonna just summarize it for you. The mayor could not understand how somebody made it over him, and he was like, "You cheated your way into this situation. You lied about this situation. You had every opportunity to sit up there and bring more people to like spread my word and be my disciple, and you chose to use it in a bad way. Like, everything in this world was created for good, but people have a way of making it bad or whatever." So then it was like another woman that worked in his office. She was like the secretary, and he was like, "Well, how's she getting an idea?" And he was like, "Because she answered phone calls. She was sitting up there ministering. She was doing fundraisers. You only did it to get the position you're in. Like, your good deeds is not going to get you where you need to be or whatever." And it's just like, you can sit up there and be the best person in the world, but if you can't forgive people, like, that's something. Like, I used to just think, oh, it's a lot. It's a lot to it. And I was another person that used to just manipulate the word for my benefit. And I used to do that by not reading the word. And in the Bible, it says, "My people will perish due to lack of knowledge." And that's the truth, because we don't want to know the truth. We don't want to be held accountable. But people, like in the world, he has higher expectations for it, even if you are not a Christian, because we live in a free country, meaning the United States. It's people that will be having their last days, their last minutes, that have never even heard God's or Jesus' name in their lives because they can't. You know what I mean? So we have the opportunity. We go outside, we look around and see everything that He's created, and choose to still not believe that. Yeah, so when I tell you that book got me all the way together, and it's a couple other books that he has written that are very good, and his wife has one. What is it called? It's for women, and it's talking about like putting on our full body of armor. Like, if you think about it, we are the biggest targets as far as like women in this world, and that's why, like, again, I have my reasons as to why. You do. You definitely have, and like I said, it's free. Like if you go on there, all the things that he provides. Let me show you, as a matter of fact, what it looks like. But it's called the Bait of Satan. Like the first couple of things, and it's fully backed up by scripture. I'm sorry, y'all. This is what it looks like. If you need to, good book. We got to get on here and do a Bible study. Let me know because we do. He even talked about like how he was playing some different things, like because you wanted to go and preach what you thought was going to get like the crowd's attention, and you didn't preach what he told you to go in there and preach. Absolutely, yes. So y'all, it is 11:10. I enjoyed this live. I really appreciate y'all for coming and checking in with me. I'm gonna probably post that book on my this just came to mind. I don't know who has a page or who's trying to grow their channel on here. I just do this to like spread the knowledge. If I get there, I get there. If I don't, I'm okay with it. Um, but I have been being more connected by going live with people. And one thing I like about live is you ain't gotta do no editing. Okay? You ain't gotta do no editing. So I don't know if y'all keep this. So my cousin pointed this out to me yesterday. So I'm going to add this as my thumbnail, and I'm just going to save this video. So if anybody ever needs to come back or whatever, but I'm gonna come up with a schedule so that I can make sure that I'm on here on my Google Show as often as possible. And if y'all have any book suggestions and things like that to recommend to me, please let me know as well. I'm not reading there, and I'm reading everything. But I will talk to you all tomorrow. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Um, yes, thank you so much for you adding in your information as well. We will definitely talk soon. I will see you all tomorrow.